Hello, welcome to the Daily English News program on Azərbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Ilham Məmmədov. The Milli Məclis received the report of the Cabinet of Ministers on its activity in 2024. The report features the works carried out by the government last year and the issues in respect to the social and economic situation in the country. The document included the suggestions and recommendations put forward by the MPs during the hearing of the report last year. The hearing of the annual reports of the Cabinet of Ministers in the Parliament is of great significance in terms of the objective investigation and solution of social and economic issues. The report will be submitted to the plenary meeting of the Milli Məclis to be held on March 14th. Investigations have proven that 170 Azerbaijani prisoners were tortured to death and Armenia showed inhumane treatment against Azerbaijanis. This was stated during the presentation of the report by Azerbaijan's State Commission on Prisoners of War, Hostages and Missing Persons, titled Assessment Report, Accounting for Missing Persons in the Republic of Azerbaijan. During the event, it was noted that as a result of the military aggression of Armenia, 3,983 people were registered as missing persons. It was also brought to the attention that so far 23 mass graves were found in the territories liberated from the occupations. Remains of 688 persons were discovered. 165 out of them were handed over to their families. It was also noted that contamination with mines creates serious impediments in the search for missing persons. The trial of 15 Armenian citizens accused of crimes against peace and humanity, war crimes, including aggressive warfare, genocide, forced displacement, persecution, torture, military looting, and other illegal acts committed against Azerbaijan and the Azerbaijani people continues. During a hearing at the Baku Military Court, Armenian defendant Arkady Gukasyan responded to questions from state prosecutors. When asked about his belief in the ideology of Greater Armenia, Gukasyan dismissed it as a fairy tale. In addition, he told that in 1992, less than 30,000 residents of Armenian origin lived in the territory of Karabakh. Defendant Arkady Gukasyan was asked the questions about the positions he held in the regime, about the Krang organization established in Armenia and in Karabakh being the sovereign territory of Azerbaijan, and about the Miatsum criminal ideology. Gukasyan testified that at the time during the rallies in Karabakh, Arkady Monocherian was more active. He also said he met Zori Balayan, who is referenced as a member of the criminal gang in this criminal case, in 1993, and got acquainted with Vazgen Manukyan in 1994. He also stated that he reported to Robert Kocherian. Azerbaijan National Agency for Mine Action announced weekly information regarding operations conducted in the liberated territories. According to ANAMA, 90 anti-personnel mines, 48 anti-tank mines, and 605 unexploded ordnance were found and neutralized. It was noted that 1,365 hectares of land were cleared. The international rating agency Moody has issued a positive forecast for the banking sector of Azerbaijan. According to the agency's estimates, the demand for loans from businesses and households is set to continue growing.
International rating agency Moody's expects the quality of Azerbaijan's bank assets to remain high in 2025 to 2026, driven by growth in household incomes and the expansion of the non-oil sector, which accounts for a significant share of banking activity. As a result, corporate and household demand for credit will continue to grow. According to experts, this forecast is made in the context of the financial stability and sustainable growth of banks currently observed in the country. This is also due to the fact that the level of indebtedness is quite good. Azerbaijan's private sector debt burden remains lowest among the countries in the region.
In Azerbaijan, the household debt to GDP ratio is 14% and the corporate debt to GDP ratio is 10%. So the overall debt level in the country is under control. On top of that, the number of non-performing loans is at a record high, and the banks have done well to set aside reserves.
Moody's notes that the share of problem loans in Azerbaijan remains at the historically low level at 2.4% of total loans as of the end of 2024. Concurrently, the reserve coverage of problem loans surpasses 200%. The stability of the manat exchange rate, coupled with stringent regulatory requirements for consumer lending, contributes to a reduction in risk.
Bütün bunlar həm də bank sektorunun son 3 ildə ortalama 18%'lik.
All this suggests that over the past 3 years, the share of lending to the banking sector has grown by 18%. And the forecast for growth by 15% for 2025 means we don't expect any critical sources in the financial sector of Azerbaijan in 2025-2026. This also improves the rating of the banking sector and leads to a decrease in the debts that banks take on.
Ölkənin həm də bank sektorunun borc alma vəziyyətinin yaxşılaşmasına.
It's evident that forecasts of other international rating agencies in the banking sector also attract attention. Earlier, the international rating agency S&P also predicted the growth of the loan portfolio of banks in Azerbaijan in 2025 by about 15%.
That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.